Mel here. I hope everyone is well. I hope you're having a great crafty day so far. Now today we're doing something a little different. I had a little email a couple of weeks ago asking if I would like to join in the lovely CraftStash and Friends YouTube Pop. Of course, I couldn't say no. With the amazing fab budget of designers that they have today, you just have to see them. With all their different styles, using some very fab crafty supplies from CraftStash, which I also happily received some fun dies. Now, I don't usually just use dies as is, so it was a bit of a challenge for me, but a challenge that I really loved. So I got these dies from the Simply Made Crafts by Helen Griffin. I got the lovely ring box, and I also got the perfume bottle die set and the makeup palette die set. They did send me the mini doctor's bag die set, but I don't use this in the video today. I didn't know how to use it, but you can still see these in the link below, everything I've used. And if you follow that link, you will receive 20% off any of these dies. Not only that, any of the supplies that the other designers use, you will get 20% off. So follow that link below. So before we go on any further, remember, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you're not already, please subscribe to my channel, and let's get started. I've already die cut everything we need, so what we're going to do from the ring box set, you're going to use the two large dies, sorry about the noise, so your box and the lid, and you're going to cut out, oops, two lids from red or any colour you want, and then you're going to cut out 4 of the bases from a brown or whatever colour you want your vellum to be. It could be black, it could be green, anything you want. So you need 4 bases, 2 lids. From the makeup set, the makeup palette box, I use the 2 largest dies again. So you've got your base, oh no, that's the lid, sorry, and the base, and I cut just 1 lid, and I cut 6 bases from the brown. And then lastly, that we're going to cut out, from the perfume bottle die set, we're going to take your 2 main dies, and you're going to cut out 1 of each from the brown, and then you're going to cut 1 extra, so you end up with 3. Doesn't matter which one is your extra as long as you've got 3. Then you're going to cut out your little tabs. I'll cut these out, so I've ran that through twice, so I have 8 wee tabs. And I also cut out using the decorative die and cut out 1 from red, and this will be my doors. So I'm going to quickly get my cutting mat and I'll show you what's next. So first of all, I'm going to start with the ring boxes, and what we're going to do is we're going to fold the score lines first. So any of the lines you use the dies have made, we're going to fold, and we're just going to fold them inwards. See, there's some small tabs, and I'm just going to do that one carefully and then do them. And you're going to do that for all of the die cuts, not just this one. Every single one you're going to do. You don't need to see me do that, it's just a simple step. But next, what we're going to do, we're going to flip it over to the inside. Now we're going to cut some windows. You need to decide quickly here if you want to have windows on all sides. So I'm just going to have them on my front and side, but I'll also have an opening on the inside that touches the main building, so that my lights will come through. It'll make more sense, but my back I'm going to leave closed so that I don't have all my light going out the back and not a lot coming through the front, if that makes sense. So I made this little frame up, and all it is it's the same width and height as my box, and I've done a 1/4 inch from each side, then divided it into the middle, and I've got a 1/4 inch in the middle, and I've cut out little windows. You can individually do that, or you can just do it quickly like I'm going to do and draw around. And then I'm going to cut these out. Now I'm going to add on little bits on the front, so even if the lines are a little wobbly, it doesn't matter. But if you want, you can use your ruler and just line it up and get nice crisp lines. There we go. You see it from the front. Oh, we've got my little windows. I'm going to do that on two sides, so I'm going to have that at my front and then on my outside, but also on my inner window I just want to cut a slot. So again, if you use your little frame and just draw the outer lines, that'll give you a basic little window. If I just do this quickly, like so. And this allows you to have your light coming through, but also you want to do this on the base. So I just want to be able to see my lines a bit better. So I'm just going to do this so you can see my lines, where my score lines are.
While I'm cutting out this wee square, I just wanted to let you know that if you joined CraftStash VIP at the moment, you would get another 10% off on top of your 20%. For $9.99 a year, you'll also get 10% off any orders you make on the CraftStash website. I'll leave a link below so you can check that out.
And this allows your light to come up through as well. So I'm going to repeat my other window on here. So you're going to have two that goes that way, but then you're going to have two that'll be the opposite. So your opening will be here, then your two windows here, and then your blanks at the back. And you're going to make two of each. So I'll just get that done.
Last step for your wee box is to change the size of the tabs, because you can see that they will show through the windows. So if you mark with a pencil and then use your scissors or your paper trimmer and snip up and cut off the excess, that means that when you close your box over, you won't get any overhang.
You folded the makeup box palettes, you're going to cut a window as well, and again I've got another wee frame which is the exact same width and length as the spaces, and I came in again 1/4 of an inch either side and up from the top and the bottom. And again I'm just going to do what I've done before and cut out my little, try not to move, my little windows. This one moves a little, so just be careful. And you're also going to cut on both sides this time.
If you use the top and the bottom of the little guide, you'll get the perfect size, and then you just need to trace around that and cut out.
And that'll look something like that. And then just cut out. Now if you wanted, you could have the windows with a bar in the middle, just divide your space up. I did that on one of my practice rounds, but I think for this I'm going to make little shutters for the front, so I'm just going to make one big window. It's just easier.
Again, you're going to make a space in the middle, so I'm just marking with my pencil so you can see where the score lines are. Then I'll take my ruler and my craft knife and I'll cut a space in the middle. You want to make it so that the sides are about the same width as 1/4 of an inch, because you're going to use these as tabs to glue each of the bases to each other when you make up the building.
you're going to repeat that 6 times. And it doesn't matter which one you decide on, your front or your back. You can change it up every now and again, and it will help with the stability when you're gluing them together. Lastly, for the makeup palette boxes, you're going to cut the little tabs off. I've went ahead and done that so that when you go to glue them, you're not peeking through the window. So if you just do that on all of them, that's your last step for them. Next, for the door, I'm going to use the perfume bottle. So, as I said, what you need is one of each size.
You're going to miss this step out for the moment because I have a major blooper where I cut the wrong part and then I leave the glue gun on top of it. So you're just going to follow on the decorative parts first, and then I'll show you how the door is actually made later on. Sorry! The third piece, you're just going to cut off all these decorative tabs. You don't need to do anything else with it. It's going to become your front panel.
And then you've got your main door. Now that you've got all the components ready, apart from your vellum for your windows, you're going to do some inking. So I'll just tidy up, get my inking mat, and then we can go on to the next step.
So just quickly, as the white flickers on my camera, all I'm doing here is using some Distress Oxide ink on all the edges of my cardstock. I end up changing from Vintage Photo to Walnut Stain because it comes up better on this brown card, you'll see here. Then I take a smaller brush and go into where all the windows are so that I can get right into all these spaces. And for the red card, I use an aged mahogany and I just repeat for all the pieces of cardstock.
That's all the layers all inked up. I even did the little patterned layer, for decorative layer, sorry, for the door. And I've cut it so that when you put it on, you're getting a little border right round. I just cut off the base, cut it down the middle and inked it with the aged mahogany. So now what you want to do is add your vellum to your windows. So you're only going to add it to the 2 sides and onto the long piece. So really easy, you're just going to cut bits and glue it at the back.
All I'm doing is cutting a wee bit of vellum, just freehand eyeballing it, nothing fancy. You can trim it with your paper trimmer to make it easier. Then I'm taking some tacky glue to glue it on. As long as you use a glue that dries clear, even you could use double-sided sellotape, whatever you use, and then adding it and adding my vellum on. And I'm just going to repeat that for all my windows on all my panels.
And then there you go. Don't worry about the wee glue because it dries clear, so you won't see that. So I'm just going to do that for all 4 of these and then on the 6 pieces of these. There we go, all my windows are in now, so just quickly get rid of all this stuff. What we're going to do now is make everything up.
For quickness, I'm going to use my hot glue gun. I just find it will give a wee bit more support. I'm just adding some glue onto the little tab and putting it at the back, holding it in place for the glue to take hold, and then moving to the next one.
There we go. I'm going to repeat that for even this one. I'll just show you quickly. So if you just do that for all your boxes, and the lids, we'll leave the door till last, but we'll make all these up. For the roofs, they're all made in the same way. You'll see there's little triangle tabs, so if you glue them first on the side, then the little side tab, there's the glue strings, and then again on the other side. got everything all glued together, we're going to make up the side tower. So what we're going to do first is we're going to, on one of the sides, we're going to snip in the corners. And this can help us have some glue tabs. And you want to make sure you've got the two the same, so that the windows are all facing the exact same way. And this is the base of this side, and we're going to glue down these two little tabs first on this one. And then taking this one, making sure again that we've got it the right way, we're going to use them to glue our two sides together. And just make sure that one needs to be trimmed, so it's hanging down just a little. And we'll just do that. And this one will probably be the same, so we'll do that again. Now if we add glue, and we just take our time and pop it, line it up as best you can, and use the hot glue, and then just repeat all the way around. Now, from this side it might be easier coming in here, it might be hard to see, so what I'm going to do, if you look there, I'm going to add glue onto that tab there, and then just push against, making sure it's lined up, and then all I've got to do is glue this one. And just get in from the top with my glue gun. So, and that's my first side done. All I've got to do is glue my roof on. And you're just going to use the tabs again, glue these two down. And with the big tab to the inside, and just glue your roof in place. Sorry, off camera there. You're just going to glue your roof in place. We're going to add some new roof tiles anyway, so if you've not got it perfect, don't worry. But that's your one side done. Now you're going to repeat that with this one. I'm just going to do the same again, so I'm going to glue these down. Glue on again, and then add on your roof. You don't need to see me do that, but again you're going to make up your middle panel as well. So you want to make sure that all the houses face the windows all face the same way. So if you take one of these as your base, and then you're going to make sure that that faces the same way. And this side, obviously, I'm going to have to glue that wee tab down, just as we did here. And then we're going to snip again in these corners and glue them in, again, just like we did here. And then when we go to do a roof, you want to use that tab, you want to keep it on. Sorry, it's not focusing. That one, you'll glue that on that side, and the other tabs will go on the inside. And I'll just show you quickly how to do that one. And then you're just going to repeat that and then add your roof. really easy, nothing fancy, you're just making sure you get the glue to catch before you move on to the next one. And then you're putting this tab down every time, apart from when you go to put the roof on. So I'll leave you to do that, and then I'll show you how to put it together. Now with the main parts of the buildings done, I can see that I cut one window too much. I should have left that blank. But what I'm going to do is try and fit a bit of vellum in there as best I can. And it will act as another window. Might not be the neatest, but I will try my best. I probably should have measured that before I glued it together. And then put it on. That's definitely. If I push that down, take my bone folder, I can just push in against and just make out what I'm doing inside. And then I'll have a window there, and I'll just repeat that on the other side. So next what you're going to do is you're going to glue these two together. Just like you can just see. And you glue them like that. Sticks out a little bit, as you can see from the roof, but that's just we do this. It should fine. And then make sure you get that side there. We're just going to do that. Try my best to line it up. So as long as I'm flush with the front, there won't be any excess glue, and flush with the base, and it stays. Don't worry if it's bend the roof in like I've done, you can push that back out. And then if I actually put it like that, ignore the roof. And over side, and I'll just repeat that. And that's your basic building done. Now for your door, off camera I had to cut out the perfume bottles again. I sat my glue gun on top of the papers, so I've redone them, and what we're going to do, I'm going to cut the right side this time, and all we're going to do is cut off the tops and these two tabs.
So you're going to find out which one is a larger one, and you're going to use this one and set the smaller one to the side. The wee tabs you die cut, you're going to fold these in half down the seam, and then you're going to add glue to one side and glue it to the back of one tab. Then you're going to add glue to the other side and glue it to the tab next to it. This connects them and just gives that wee bit of added support that you need for your door, or if you make the perfume bottle. And you're just going to repeat this all the way around.
And if you take the smaller piece, it's going to slot inside, like so. And you're going to glue these two pieces together. So, glue these inside.
To glue these inside, I am just going to use some of my tacky glue so I can move it about more before it takes hold, and then I can get the tabs right into each other so that they stay in place.
There we go. And then we just glue these two pieces together, and this will give us our base. Now with the piece that we cut out, the other layer, we're going to put that on the front and then bend it round. Again, that'll give us a bit more support. We glue it on the front first. Just use the pointless scissors. That will help me get a nice crisp, get me a nice crisp edge. And then I can glue that down as well.
So once the glue takes hold, I am just going to add a wee bit more ink onto this. I think I used the lighter colour when I made it up quickly, so I'm just adding the darker ink again just to make it stand out more.
Also cut another bit of card and glue that to the base, and again that would support it, but you're not going to see it. So what we're going to do next is add on our door. Decide where you want it. You don't need to have it in the middle. If you don't want to, you can have it to the side. I'm going to put mine in the middle as best I can.
Adding a whole load of hot glue here, putting it down on top of the workshop and pushing from inside.
And that's my door, and then all I've got to do is add on my wee door panels. There we are, that's Santa's workshop building all done, or whatever type of building you're going to make. Now it's time to decorate.
Off camera I've cut my wee shutters, so for the smaller window I've got ones at 3/4 of an inch by 1/2 inch, I've folded in half. I'll add a wee foam pad or a wee bit of glue inside so that they sort of prop open. For the larger windows I've cut them at a 3/4 inch square, and again I'll add a foam pad or a glue dot so that they stay propped open. I've also cut squares and a rectangle to pop on my roof just to add a wee bit extra support, and I've cut lengths 12 inch by 3/4 of an inch to make my roof shingles or whatever you want to call them. And what I'm doing here is I'm marking them the same length of my roof, and then I'm just going to rough them up. I'm going to squish them and tear them and just make them all ratty, and I'll ink them off camera, but then I will cut 4 for each side, that includes the smaller sides, and I will glue them all in one on top of each other, and then I will glue these on to give the look of my tiles. You could use the little squares instead if you wanted, but I think this gives a fun look. Instead of cutting out your little tiles, you could use the dye from the perfume bottle and use them as your little shutters instead, because it's got the score line in it, so it'd be perfect for that.
So I've folded over my little shutters that I've made, so I've just folded them. They're not even that great. A wee bit of glue in the middle or a wee bit of foam pad, and then I've added a wee bit of ink, nothing fancy, just to give it a bit of texture. And then all I'm doing is adding a bit of glue on the back and gluing it down, making sure I've got the opening pointing outward from the window.
So I've added all the wee shutters on, I've got them on the sides as well, as you can see, using a wee bit of foam pads or a wee bit of glue to make them prop up. So now we're going to do the roof. So I've cut the panels out that I need for my roof, and I've edged them and cracked them and added the ink. So I'm just folding them the top part over, and I'm going to add some glue, and then I'm going to stick it halfway up the roof, just before the point. Just like so. Then I will add my second layer, and it will come up to the point, again folding over and adding the glue. Then I'll add the third and the fourth. When you add this third, you're going to cut up halfway up the point, but then you'll trim off the wee edges that hang over, and again with the fourth piece you'll add that on and then trim off any excess that hangs off, coming right up to the top of the point of the roof. When you add your last piece on, the fourth layer, you might want to add a dab of glue on the corners where it touches onto the third piece. This will just hold it down and keep all your roof panels together.
And then all you're going to do is go around the sides and then onto the back and repeat that round. So the back of the side. So the best angle to see it so that's me, got all the roof on, as you can see. Maybe put that one down a wee bit, but I've decided instead of adding on the extra parts on the roof, I think I'll add some faux snow. I have this stuff that gets everywhere in my stash. I thought if I mixed it with some nice sparkly glitter and then brushed it on all over, it would look quite good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix some wet glue.
All I'm doing here is taking that clear drying wet glue, mixing it with the faux snow and a whole load of glitter. I add a wee bit more extra glue because I don't add enough the first time, and then all I do is brush it onto the roof and down the panels. In the end I actually use my fingers to get it to stick, but I don't show that on camera.
So I've added a whole load of snow at the moment. It's still really sticky, so I don't want to touch too much of it. And I'll add another wee layer once this one has dried, just to fill in some more bits and bobs and brush off any excess at the same time. But I'll set that aside to dry, and then all we've got to do is decorate. So I'll see you in a moment. Now that the snow has all dried, you can see it's still a bit flaky here and there, but I thought it looked not too bad. I might not use this again. It's a wee bit orange when it dries, as you can see just underneath the door, but that could be the inks underneath as well, but it looks rather good. So all we've got to do is decorate. So what I've done is I have cut out these little bulb shapes. I just used my Silhouette Cameo and I just cut them out. They're nothing fancy, and then I'll add them onto some silver twine that I found. I also cut out some little candy canes as well, and also some trees. Now you could die cut these, but I was just on my silhouette, so I decided to cut them out anyway. And I also made a little sign to go on. So all I'm going to do is decorate now. And that's me all finished. What do you think? I really love it. So bright and colourful, just fab for Christmas. I added some of these little gold petals onto the tree to look like baubles, and I added some little black gems to look like the nails on the Santa Workshop sign, and then some larger gems from my door handles. I've got the lights going around the side. I haven't added anything to the back because I didn't think it needed it. You're not going to see it. And also I've stuffed the lights in just so that when I switch them on it will light up. There we go. And if we do this, I mean, look at that, isn't that fab? You could see it sitting on someone's mantle or in your Christmas display. It's just such a fun make, and I mean, who would thought it's some ring box, gift boxes, a makeup palette box and a perfume box? You just would not think it. It's just fab. But say you don't want to make a Santa's Workshop, you could make something a bit different. What about an ice house? This was the first thing I made when I got the dies, and I wanted to see what they'd look like together. As you can see, I used the lids on the bottom as well for the ring boxes, and I also used the perfume box in full, but it just was far too big, and also I extended the makeup palette boxes so that it was a bit taller. What I've done for this one is I scrunched up the white card and I added some ink. I just rubbed it over the surface and then added some to the edges. I die cut some snowflakes from the white card as well, and from some vellum. Added a whole load of sparkle. Also added some vellum to look like icicles from it, and some gems and some pearls. And again, I've added lights to this one as well. And I mean, look, isn't that fab? This is one for the Frozen fans out there. But don't want to do Christmas? Well, I've one more idea for you. Something perfect for this time of year. A little haunted house. What do you think? I used a whole load of black card for everything. The vellum, made it in the same way, and then I cut up some little strips of card to look like boarded up windows. I used some acrylic paint to give it an aged look. I roughed up the edges of my roof panels that I made in the same way as the workshop. Added on some toy stuffing to look like my cobwebs, and then I cut little spiders. I mean, I just cut them by hand. Added gloss on top to make them stand out, and again I added lights inside to make them alive. This is ones that you want those flickery lights in so that it looks even spookier. But I mean, who would have thought it's a set of dies? You would think you made it all. I mean, you've got your ring box die, you've got the perfume bottle die, and then you've got that makeup palette die set. And again, I didn't use the mini doctor's bag die set, but if you want to get a hold of these, remember you get 20% off today. I'll leave all the links down below. And now why don't go and check out the rest of the other designers in the hop. Again, I'll have their links below. Maybe even subscribe to the CraftStash and find out all the upcoming information. You'll get the best crafty deals that they've got. You'll get great inspiration, plus a great customer service. And also you'll always find out what's coming up, whether it's another hop or even some inspiration over on Craft World. I hope you all enjoyed this video today. I know it's a bit different from me and it's not what I usually do, but I could not say no. I mean, look at this. It came out really fab. I'm really happy with it. But until next time, bye!